The bottles getting empty up the crack and we stacking chips. All of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated. Get produced. Leave the juice letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call a truce. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon 'cause we be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, May 18th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. A middling day yesterday, 4-3 plus 0.45 units, but it did secure our 10th winning show over our last 11 shows. So 10 of our last 11 being in the black, which is good. Just got to keep stacking and keep building. Thank you guys for joining us. First off, we'll start our show by wishing our very own Caden Allen a happy birthday. 16 years old today. Caden of the Nut Flush Allen family. Happy birthday. Happy 16th birthday. You know, you lead by example. And we are all so excited to watch you flourish in life, my friend. 16 years old, and his birthday wish was to golf at 2 different courses today. That was his birthday wish. So Kristen has taken him to 2 different courses today. Hit the ball soundly and beautifully. And just know you're loved by all of us. And happy birthday to Caden Allen. We are also 48 hours away from the Preakness. 48 hours. In 47 hours and 15 minutes. Razor Sharp and I will have already toasted our first shot. We'll be knee deep in horse racing and thoroughbred glory by this time in 48 hours. So that's popping off in 48 hours. Great to see all the cappers in the chat. Justin McElvey in the house. Stacks play of the day is the Rays over 8.5. Copy and paste that. Tricky little 6-game card. We have Jose Bouquett joining us to break down this 6-game card. Let me have that set up here before our Rays breakdown here. Rays, Mets, Taj Bradley, and Tyler Megal there. There's Eric Nisbet. Haven't seen him in years. Nonplussed this morning for Eric Nisbet. I have no idea what has happened to you over the past few years, but seems like you've not been winning. But it's nice to see you in the chat, and hopefully you can scoop some winners from us. There's Razor Sharp picks 4-0 day yesterday. Great call on the Blue Jays. Really left money on the table on that first 5 under, but is what it is. There is the New Corker ready to get to work. Sharon Pulliam ready to eat. Says, how about Miami first quarter full game? Spectacular work. Dennis Garcia came in and said he was going to be on the Miami Heat money line every game. Sammy Calmer cashed the Miami Heat money line. Some big balls bettors on Miami Heat yesterday, and I was happy to see them cash. Christopher Comentini, serious business. There's Real Deal Prime. Says hello and goodbye. Quick meeting, back on the road, and then tuned into Pub Sports Radio. Respect Real Deal. Thank you for making the time for us. Slatsy says, good morning, Canes and unders. My lean for game 1. I've already made 2 bets for game 1. I'm ready to break that down. We'll be doing that here shortly. North Ender says, middling day for me too. Real small profit thanks to the Jays walk-off. There's Michael Johnson ready to go. And there it is. There's Sky Dragon. Says, Miami money line every game off to a fabulous start. I was thinking about you last night, Sky Dragon. Excellent work. I look forward to cap the Preakness with you, my friend. Paco Healy ready to go. Lucas Ryan says, between Heat and money line, Struce props and White props up 6.5 units. Nice job, Lucas Ryan. Paco Healy giving Caden a happy birthday message as well. Lucas Ryan, I'll have the over in Celtics team total over. Subhuman Gaucho ready to go. Grit and grind. And there's Mike M off a huge day. What a spectacular capper our Mike M is. Gary Malone says, good morning, Jimmy. What is your confidence level in the White Sox bats today? Well, they've been hitting lefties much better. I'm not that high on Logan Allen. He's only had 1 road start this year. That was the only bet that correlated enough. The other spots that I was looking to attack didn't correlate. I had to stay off of it. But the White Sox first 5 isn't just a bet on the White Sox bats. It's that I think that Dylan Cease is better than his numbers indicate. He's got consecutive home starts. He's coming off a great home start. So it's also on Dylan Cease. We'll talk all about it though, Gary, my friend. North Ender says Celtics lose as an 8.5-point favorite, so they open up as a 9-point favorite next game. Make it make sense, says North Ender. There's Cashman19 says can't wait till Saturday for the horses. Subhuman Gaucho says been looking forward to Preakness since the moment Kentucky Derby ended. Yeah, it was so much fun. It was extremely, extremely enjoyable capping the Derby with all of you guys. I can't wait for the Preakness. I'm so excited. So excited. There's Razor Sharp Picks posing a question. Nuke Worker says shitty Preakness field this year. You know what, Nuke? All I want is the Kentucky Derby winner there. Because it's a very difficult thing to be ready to go 2 weeks later. So that's all I asked for. And Mage is there. So I think we got lots to cap into. And it's not the strongest field. And the card isn't the strongest. But there's going to be a ton of glory available for us. And if you want to fade Mage, you can make a lot of money in the Preakness. I don't want to fade Mage. And I don't think this field is tough. We'll talk about some of the horses that colleagues of mine have faith that can beat Mage. And we'll discuss all of that. J. Rowe from in the house. What up, J. Rowe? Billy Friedrich, Big O, 14 parlay plus 12.50 until the Mets scored 6 runs in the last 2 innings. Yes, that was, a couple of those games that went over were surprising overs, that didn't look like they were going to cash and then did cash. Jay Peasy in the house. He's the sound you hear. Every show begins with the sound of Jay Peasy. Dropping bars, my guy Jay Peasy. Joe Yurkovich says Heat spread every game. Saturated. Mr. Heat says White Sox will sweep Cleveland. Rodney Barton in the house. Razor Sharp Picks now being a member for 6 months. Danny Lopez. Ron Crawford, fresh off a winner yesterday with the Orioles. You've had great success with the Orioles in your spreadsheet plays of the day, Ron. He's on the Blue Jays. I took a very long look at the Blue Jays. I was surprised to see that the bigger bets had come in on the Yankees and Nestor Cortez, who looked so bad. But we will discuss all this. And Joe Yurkovich already locked in the White Sox. I love seeing that. Rodney Barton. Great to see all you guys. All right. Ron Lofton in the house. Rocco Rogers. Ronnie Bergia says, I usually do well with small cards, ready to get to work. Billy Friedrich says, one more season for the Yotes at Mullet Arena, then they are gone. Good. Let's get them gone. Let's get them out of here. But it sounds like, it's between Houston and Salt Lake City. There's even talk about going back to Atlanta. It's shocking to me that Quebec could be 4th on that list. Just shocking. Just appalling. You would think when the Ottawa Senators are worth $1 billion that there may be some belief in the Canadian market now for NHL teams. But it is what it is. All right, let's get to work. Neo, it has been a while. Nice to see you, Neo, in the house. Okay, we've cashed in 10 of our last 11 shows. Now let's make it 11 of our last 12. It's a very small card, 8 games overall. 1 in NHL, 6 in MLB, and 1 in NBA. Let's keep rolling. Ron Crawford says Kansas City sprint set ready for the NHL. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind Kansas City getting a team. I don't want Atlanta to get a 3rd team. I'd be hesitant with Salt Lake City, but... And Razor Sharp Pick says the 10:15 a.m. horse shot has worked. It has worked. Razor says, ever thought of taking a shot before this show every day? I have. There's been a few shows where we have back in the day, but no. I would like to live I don't need to live a long life, but I would like to live more than... I'd like to hit 60. Can we hit 60? Maybe, Razor? Or is that asking too much? Wouldn't mind hitting 60 at least. And my stepdad, his dad was a radio DJ in Barrie, Ontario. And he took a shot before every show. And he did not live a long, fruitful life. Let's get to work here in NHL. Man. God, I was so close to the black, was 4-0, and then it had swept the week, plus 4.71 units going into Friday. and then things went poorly on me. Nuke says 60 is the new 40, Jimmy. Yeah, no, that's why I only drink on live streams, Nuke. I want to get there. Look, actually, Nuke, we all see the life you're living, and we all want it. That's the truth of it. You've worked very hard to get to a place where you could retire, and now we are all following what you're doing in life, and it seems very, very appealing. All right, let's get into NHL, 8 p.m. Eastern, East Final Game 1. What a fascinating matchup this is. What a fascinating matchup. I enjoyed capping this game very much, and I moved on 2 different bets. But look, it's not been an impressive year for me. Down 4.86 units on the year. It's embarrassing, but still time to get in the black. And look, the black isn't, the goal. The goal is to cash and to stack, but take fucking baby steps here. Oh yeah, there's Jessica Easton. She wants me to live past 62. Look, my mom is. Look, if I could even live my mom, the type of life my mom lives. I mean, but she also earned that. She ran all her life. 73 looks so good. Yes, I didn't know that 60 is the new 40. But
did you just call your mom hot?
Sorry,
did you just call your mom hot?
I did not, but you just did.
Well, she is. Yeah, you're right.
I did not. No, I did not. I don't think that helped the show here, Jose. But look, Jose's cashed a few days in a row himself. He's feeling pretty confident. Celtics look. Oh no, they don't. Sky Dragon says
that was a low blow. That was a low blow.
With Tatum looked. Who
Don't do this, Jimmy. We're talking NHL right now. We're talking NHL.
All right, sure. Sky Dragon says I took a tiny piece of Florida series to cover my vast Carolina exposure and my losing Calgary futures. Look, you've done an excellent job. I know you lost with Calgary futures, but your Carolina look is being excellent. Let's break it down. We will start with the line history here in NHL. The let's go with the Hurricane. Hurricanes opened up minus 131 on Tuesday, just after midnight. They're now minus 141. It's about as high as they've been. They got to minus 142 at one point, but minus 141. That's about as high as they've been. Let's move over to the totals. The site that I use has changed the way we track action, and it's extremely annoying. Very, very irritating how they're handling it, but I'll get used to it. From a total scenario, this total opened up at 6 minus 115 to the under. This got up to minus 120 yesterday at 4:45 in the morning. Again, yesterday at 4:26 p.m. It seems to be creeping towards the over. Right now, it's minus 116 to the under and plus 103 to the over. D. Jenkins says, let's go Panthers. Billy Friedrich says Teravainen will be back, and I'm not sure that is a great idea for them. He's been so bad this season, and they were really good without him on the ice. There's only one spot you want Teravainen, Billy, and I don't know if it's worth it either, but it's the power play. It is the power play. Yes, I do. Oh, Billy's got a lean under in the early NHL game. So why don't I tell you my move right off the hop? I'm on the first period under 1.5 at minus 105 and the full game under 6 at minus 120. I do not think sixes will be available in this series. They're only available because of the wild scores of Carolina, New Jersey Devils. That was a series predicated on questionable goaltending from the Devils, and they knew they had to score because of their questionable goaltending. Here, Bobrovsky, who's been very questionable since signing the monster contract, but right now is playing the best hockey we've seen him play in 5 to 10 years, is solid in between the pipes. He knows he's there every second night, and it's a pretty comfortable spot for a starting goalie to be in. To have confidence, know you're going to be in the net every second night, and that's what he's doing. 2.82 goals against average, .918 save percentage in the playoffs. Freddie Anderson, 5-0. It's been funny how Carolina's revolved their goaltenders in and out. 5-0, 1.80 goals against average, .931 save percentage. Let's talk more about this. Bankroll Spence looking at Panthers team total under. Nate Dogg, Carolina money line in the over, 5.5. Billy Friedrich says I like that look. However, Bobrovsky's given up at least 2 goals in every one of his postseason games. And Sky Dragon liking the under as well. And I really believe this is our last 6 that we'll see. But let's discuss this a little more. First off, you could say, let's poke holes in the under. First off, you could say, well, look at Florida's penalty killing, 65.8%. First, you could in the playoffs. First, you could say, well, they've gone up against Boston and Toronto, 2 spectacular power plays, but their penalty killing actually is a little better than it looks here. We have, I have too many pages of stats here. So the Panthers, 65.8% penalty killing, but they were 9 for 11 in the second round. So they only allowed 2 power play goals from the Toronto Maple Leafs power play. That's a very good power play. It was the Boston Bruins power play that's, very, very good that got to them. But then their defense and their goaltending is tightened up. Remember, they had a 30-year-old journeyman minor league goaltender in Lyon, and now they have Bobrovsky with a ton of confidence. So there's big ragu in the house. Nuclear says the last thing the Panthers needed was a 6-day layoff since smacking the Leafs. Sammy Calmer looking at the under 6 and minus 116 as well. So, and Billy Fraser says, regardless of what happens tonight, he's going to bet Panthers money line game 2 when the line comes out. So we know that the Panthers penalty killing is better than it looks here with that stat of 65.8% penalty kill. Now, they weren't a very good penalty kill in the regular season, 23rd in the league at 76%. Speaking of penalty kill, look at the Carolina Hurricanes penalty kill. Spectacular. 90% penalty kill. Their power play isn't very good at 18.9%. So even if you think one of the flaws in Florida Panthers defense is their penalty kill, the Hurricanes don't have the power play to abuse it. So we go over to Carolina. They have allowed 3 power play goals. So they've allowed 3 power play goals in the postseason. They've scored 4 shorthanded goals. So the Carolina Hurricanes have outscored their opposition down a man. Wow. My goodness. What that's the kind of hockey team Rod Brindamore is, the perfect coach for. So we have Eric Stahl and Mark Stahl of the Panthers facing Jordan Stahl in the first Stanley Cup playoff series that includes all 3 brothers. And maybe they won't talk about the fact that they didn't wear the Pride jerseys for a little bit. And it also begs the question, where is Jared Stahl? 2nd round draft pick. I would hate to be the one brother that doesn't make it. Played 2 games for the Hurricanes in 2012, 2013. Was last seen when in 2016-17 when he toiled for the mighty Edinburgh Capitals of the famed Scottish National League. The Hurricanes looking to reach the final for the first time since 2006. Panthers since 1996 when they were swept by the Colorado Avalanche. That final game, I remember like it was yesterday. I won a playoff pool and I was sure I was going to lose it. All I had was Yui Krupp. That was it. And the other guy had 3 or 4 Avalanche, and we were tied, and I knew I was screwed. But Yui Krupp scored the overtime winner in the second overtime period. I couldn't believe it. Absolutely crazy. Razor Sharp Pick says we have some golf today. Yes, our Mr. Gokster. I'm Billy Fraser saying if Anderson's now the Canes started, this will eventually come back to bite this team. Mr. Gokster is live in the Dirty Chester right now for the PGA Championship, and he'll be putting out footage all day. So Carolina over Nate Dogg, both teams to score first period and the over 1.5 in the first period. So Nate Dogg and I going up against each other, which we've been doing all playoffs long, and it's part of the fun. So we're going up against each other again here. What Carolina did overcoming the injuries to Svechnikov and Teravainen's being impressive. Svechnikov was big, and the Pacioretty a little bit was a sort of impressive. Look at the depth that's come from the Carolina Hurricanes. Aho, we know what he can do, but Jordan Martinook, unbelievable that Martinook would step up the way he is. Jesper Fast, Jordan Stahl. It's very, very impressive what they've done. Now, Aho didn't have a big second round, but did he need to? Didn't really need to have that big of a second round. One of the things you'll notice from both these teams is they're undefeated in overtime. Carolina's 5-1 at home in the playoffs. Carolina led the NHL with a plus 82 goal differential in the regular season, and they were the best 5-on-5 defensive team in the NHL. So they're a real team here. Johnny K, we're not entirely sure if Teravainen's going to be in, but he's been practicing, and the power play needs him, but the 5-on-5 play doesn't need him. There's Clint Starr, the Die Hard MMA podcast. I'm sure you could, Piker. Sure you could. So Carolina also has stepped up their offense in the playoffs, which is something that surprised us all. 3.20 goals in the regular season, 3.64 goals in the playoffs. And look, Natchez, Kotkaniemi, Jesper Fast, Martinuk. Look, they have Brent Burns on defense. He has 8 points in the playoffs. He's playing very good. He averages a team high 23.55 of ice time. They have 7 goals from defensemen, and they led in the regular season with 59 goals from defensemen. Let's talk about Florida. What Florida has done to get here is extremely impressive. You know, there was a note from Joe Yurkovich in the Celtics Heat series when he said that he sees this every year, a big dog being undervalued, not respected by the marketplace. And he was speaking about the Heat and the Sharps were on the Celtics, and the line went from 7.5 to 8.5, and it didn't matter. The Heat went outright. Florida, 27.6% on the power play. Didn't get many opportunities in the Florida-Toronto series, and that was one of the gripes about that series, was that the whistles went in the ref's pocket. I don't mind it. They were bad this year in the regular season, but I think that we can just let all that go. This is a different hockey team. It's a healthy hockey team, and we'll talk about some of the players that have stepped up in an enormous way for them. They've won 6 straight games on the road. They're 4-0 in overtime. They've won 7 straight overtime games since 2021. Matthew Tkachuk wasn't excellent. He didn't even score a goal against the Leafs, but he still second on the Panthers with 22 hits, just behind Sam Bennett's 24. I love the truculence of Sam Bennett. And Matthew Tkachuk deserves to be a Hart Trophy finalist, and he's a very good player. Carter Verhaeghe is absolutely just clutch and dangerous, and he's a sniper. And it was a great pickup off the Tampa Bay Lightning. 6 game-winning goals, 3 overtime goals over the last 2 postseasons. So I'm on the first period under 1.5. The only spot where neither of these teams seem to be scoring is the first period. The Panthers have 8 first-period goals in the first 2 rounds. So 8 first-period goals in 12 games. The Hurricanes only had 6 first-period goals. That was, pushed me into doubling up on game 1 of a series, something which I don't really like to do. If you want to look at it, Florida has 13 second period goals and 15 third period goals. Carolina has 20 in the second period and 11 in the third period. And I don't think Teravainen will be that big of a difference. Travis Levine is on the Florida money line. Beautiful work, Vitalis, live betting the second half over. Eric Jones on the under 5.5. Oh God, Oliver Ekman-Larsson. I think they're gonna just pay to cut him. God, Benning's such an ass clown. Mike M says Duclair scored 3 of the last 4 versus the Canes, first line forward, and power play 2 should see plenty of ice time on a team that likes to score. Wasn't Duclair, like we're talking about some of the, Verhaeghe and Bennett, but wasn't Duclair phenomenal? Cousins, they just, all of a sudden, this team is so deep. So deep. Diehard says, do we just accept that the Panthers are better than we all thought at this point? Yes, we absolutely do. Absolutely do. All right, so that's the situation. I'm on the under 6 at -120. I imagine that it's still available. I saw Eric Jones looking at the 5.5. It's still available at Bet365 -6 -120, or under 6 -120. I'm on the first period under 1.5 -105. And that is our NHL action for today. Big Ragoo says, respect the sunshine, baby. And I think it's going to be a great series. I'm very, very excited. So, Billy Fraser says, Barkov loves playing the Canes. Under 6 at -116 available. Pinnacle slots, he says. So there you go. 2 spots for me. Just like last week, going heads up with my friend Nate Dogg 420. And there you have it. And I can't wait to break down tomorrow's hockey game, although I'm nervous about that one. All right, it's time to move on to MLB. 6 games on the card. And both Jose and I coming off winning days. Jose starting to string together winning days. And it's really fun watching a capper climb out of a hole. It's really fun watching him deal with adversity, and that's what Jose's doing now. He's got a lot more climbing to do, but he's on his way and he's building confidence, and that's very, very important. Please welcome star of Say Hey Plays of the Day, coming to us from San Antonio, Texas, a man known for his sweet tea tits. Please welcome Jose Bouquett. Jose, how are you?
I'm doing well. A lot of people are lashing out in the chat today. Jimmy, some people in the chat seem to be a little bitter today, unfortunately. Maybe they're $5,000 lighter. I don't know why they would be a little bitter, but it sucks. I hate to see that. I hope the vibes can change in the chat.
Well, I feel like that is real honest compassion from you.
Of course,
Jose.
I don't want my friends losing money.
Guillermo, just happy to see that you are still alive. Saturated, wondering where your Tatum jersey is.
The Celtics don't play today.
Okay, for sure. You're right. Let's get to work. Jose, you're coming off a winning day yesterday in MLB. Look, I was very, very fortunate that we capped that Angel Baltimore game perfectly. Or it would have been a losing day for me. We cashed the first 5 under 5 plus 100 very easily, cashed the full game under 9 very easily, and cashed the Orioles first 5 minus a half. Needed that in the fourth inning, but got it in the fourth inning. We lost Tigers first 5 minus a half. The Baltimore Orioles are in the exact same situation, identical. And so, look, we got to cut down our mistakes. And maybe the Orioles win today, and we'll talk about it right off the hop, but I did not move on them. Exact same situation as the Tigers yesterday. 97% of the cash. We'll double check that. Then Philadelphia, San Francisco first 5 under 5 was atrocious. Mets first 5 minus 130 was a loser, and Rangers first 5 was lucky that they got to Strider in the fourth inning. So I didn't need the plus a half minus 115, but I got it. All right, let's get to work. Jake Burns says Padres robbed me of a big night. I absolutely hate those bombs so much. Well, Jake Burns, I've talked about it often, and now I should start betting it. But one of the mistakes that I'd made in the past, I don't make anymore, is expecting a bad bullpen to have a bad bullpen day. And that was just destroyed. Like every time it was a bad bullpen and a bullpen day, they would pitch better than I expected. So I think we should just all keep an eye out for it because it's been happening nonstop this year. And I think I should move to the other side and start backing bad bullpens. But you do want your X's and O's to correlate, not just, an edge that you feel like you have due to your records. But we'll talk all about that. Saturated says, what was Ragu's record on the show yesterday? It had to be good. It wasn't. It was decent. It was decent. He got hot late. Saturated, though, capping the capper, what you guys did, and, Smoke and Mirrors did the same thing. You focused on the bets that you thought Ragu had the most confidence on, and those all cashed. So, again, capping the capper is extremely important in what we do. Smoke and Mirrors did that. He knew that the most confident spot I had was the LA Baltimore, and then he said, let's figure out what the best spot on that board is. And I said, well, look, Ragu and I are both on this bet. That's probably it. Okay.
Who do you think is the toughest capper to cap? I'd say myself.
I don't want to cap the capper. I want to do my own. It's sort of, we talked a little bit about it after a live stream last week. For me, my preference is my capping. It really is. Now,
we know that.
In the futures market, Dennis Garcia has been spectacular for me. So there's certain things where I do really like to, I really like to hear. But personally, for me, it's just like stand-up comedy. I don't want to watch. When I was a comic, I didn't want to watch other comics. I don't want any of that in my head. I want to be in the original.
So you didn't get Turkey or Terrace for someone else?
No, that was unfortunately all me. Sadly.
That's my favorite bit, though. Shout out to Turkey or Terrace.
Thank you. All right, let's get to work. Jose Bouquett, let's get to work. And Bankroll Spence saying Ragu is a pro. Man, we are very lucky to have him every second Wednesday. And we saw what he did last. We've seen what he has done in every sport. So rest assured, Ragu is going to be up, with a ridiculous ROI. It's just what he does. All right, we have a game popping off in an hour and 6 minutes. Los Angeles Angels, 22-22, 12-13 on the road. The Baltimore Orioles, 28-15, 15-7 at home. We're at Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland. Now, this is exactly what we had. I can't wait to talk about this and hear what everybody's doing because it's just exactly with what we dealt with the Tigers yesterday. Obviously, the line comes out with the books knowing they're going to get a ton of Orioles action. You know what was the craziest part of this line? And it's changed. It's fixed itself. But last night, the Orioles were minus 150 on the full game at Bet365. And on the first 5 innings, they were minus 130.
Yeah, people lay that juice.
How is it possible with this pitching matchup, Tyler Anderson versus Tyler Wells, that it would be 20 cents cheaper if you focused on that perceived advantage in the starting pitching? That was nuts. Now, right now, and we'll double check it again, but as of 45 minutes ago, it's minus 155 full game and minus 150 for the first 5. So, look, I could have got 20 cents of value, but I couldn't stop thinking about Eduardo Rodriguez from yesterday. 61 Fahrenheit, 6.8 miles per hour right to left. 6.8 miles per hour right to left. Vital says, have you seen Wells change-ups, though? Nasty. Rocco Ryder says that discrepancy makes sense because the bullpen advantage for the O's is huge. I disagree. The Angels bullpen is much, much better than everybody remembers. If you have a vividness bias of the Angels bullpen being terrible, yes, the Orioles bullpen is elite, but the Angels bullpen is very good. The biggest advantage, I would say, here is the starting pitcher with Wells over Anderson, and then Orioles versus lefties against Angels versus righties, personally. But let's figure this out. Next, we go into line history here for this one. We'll go over to MLB. We'll go over to where the cash is as well. Here we go. So just because I've given you the what it already is, what it's been at Bet365, now the Orioles are minus 160, and the first 5 is still minus 150. So that's the deal there. Let's go into Pinnacle's. It's going to be so annoying. Pinnacle's line history. First off, Baltimore opened up at minus 133. They're now minus 156. At 10:32 a.m., there was buyback on the Angels. This is just a strange line. There's no getting around it. It's a very strange line. Let's take a look.
By the way, Teravainen is playing, just for your hockey in there.
Sweet. Yeah, I think that will help Carolina's power play, which needs the help, but I don't know, really what else that's going to do for them. Let's take a look at the total here. This total opened up at 8.5, minus 115 to the over. There's been a 9-cent move to the under. The under is now a pick'em. The under was juiced there for a second, but it's now a pick'em here in this one. Johnny Gunn says these pitchers are vulnerable. First 5 over and full game over. Now let's take a look at the cash flow and see if that will enlighten us here. We have 83% of the tickets and 97% of the cash on the Baltimore Orioles. From a total perspective, 37% of the tickets and 78% of cash on the under. Now, Johnny Guns, I feel like the market is telling us that Tyler Anderson's going to have a good start. And the public is hammering the Orioles. The books don't seem to be too concerned. If that's the case, then we know that Tyler Wells is good enough. Wouldn't the under then be in play? Tyler Anderson's last start was at Cleveland. It was pretty nice. 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, only 1 strikeout. He's 25 strikeouts and 19 walks. That's not the K to walk ratio he's looking for. He's been much better on the road this year than he's been at home. Only throwing 22 2/3, but 1-0 with 3.97 ERA, 271 opponent's batting average. Then you have Tyler Wells, who's been spectacular at home. 25 2/3, 2-1, 2.10 ERA, 161 opponent's batting average. He's coming off a beautiful start at home. 2-0 win against the Pirates, where he went 7 strong, 8 Ks, and 2 walks, 0 earned runs allowed. The Orioles get to lefties, 278.06. Angels get to righties, 252, 741. And both bullpens, I think, are elite. Take it away for us here, Jose Bouquett. Game 1 of a light card. We can put a lot of energy and a lot of focus into each and every one of these games. Angels, Orioles at Camden. Floor is yours.
Yeah, so I've had a good amount of success the last 2 days on lines that don't make sense. Shout out to the Cardinals yesterday. I added 2 more plays to kind of poo-poo my day on that, but I still cashed full game -1 and money line fairly easily. Honestly, Jim, I was leaning over in this game. The numbers are, I guess, the movement on the unders can turn me enough. And like we've said the last 2 days, if the line doesn't make sense, you kind of just have to take the other side, no matter what the stats say. Lance Lynn versus the White Sox. I hate Lance Lynn with a passion. I can't stand betting on him. I think he stinks. Bet on him when the line didn't make sense. He had a good start. Yesterday, Same thing with Matthew Libertador and the whole Cardinals, I guess, bullpen. I don't like Lib. Didn't think he was that great, but went out there, pitched really well. Tyler Anderson, I could see pitching well, I guess, based on that movement towards the under. You can see the Orioles' numbers against lefties are phenomenal this year. But that's something you kind of have to ignore if all the market and the lines are moving that way. So, honestly, I'd be close to moving on Los Angeles Angels first 5 or full game. But just because of the totals being a little wacky, I'll probably pass.
Yeah, I guess I am starting to see the under. I don't know why I had to talk it out with you guys. Nicholas Handy says Frazier rest today. Ortiz starting at second for Baltimore. I mean,
and it's a getaway game too. Obviously, that's always a factor in this stuff as well.
Early start, it's what Angels 9:30 in the morning with their body clocks. The thing is that I don't know how you don't trust the bullpens here. They're very, very good, which would mean I would.
I'll tell you the Angels bullpen. You like the Angels bullpen more than I do. I recently, as of like 2-3 days ago, I went on Fangraphs and you can look at bullpen ERA, and I actually am splitting it down last 14 days to see how bullpens are doing, just more recent form. Best bullpen in the last 14 days, the Philadelphia Phillies. There's your fun fact of the day. Baltimore 5th in ERA, 2.66 was a 3.45 FIP. So a little worse, but your Los Angeles Angels have a 5 ERA right now with a 4 FIP. So maybe getting a little unlucky, but I just don't trust the Angels bullpen either. Is my concern, I guess. But they do have some arms in there now. Like they used to be barren with nothing, but they have the guy that closed for Venezuela that had all of his buttons unbuttoned. That dude. And they have another guy in there that throws super hard. Has been lighting up pitching ninja as well. So I respect the Angels bullpen, but I still don't trust it. So I think I might move on a first 5 under with you.
Well, I really do respect the bullpen. I think it's strong. And look, they've been on a road trip. At home, they faced the Rangers and the Astros over these last 14 days. Both those teams can hit, and the Rangers lit them up. They allowed 26 runs. So I'd be curious here if you went to 7. I mean, that was just one bad week here where they allowed 26 runs over 48 hours to the Rangers at home. I imagine things would change if you went to 7 days.
Let's find out. It is loading ever so slowly because I've started adopting your never close any tabs mantra, I guess, and I just have a shitload of tabs constantly open on my computer now. So shout out to you there. Last 7 days, they are 26 with a 6 ERA and a 6.37 FIP.
If you go to their WHIP season long, they're just behind the Orioles. And Travis Levine says bullpens cost them over half of the losses. They've given up multiple run leads. Look,
full season they're 8th. 3-5.
I've succeeded with Angels full game unders and look, Travis, this is part of the fun. We don't have to agree, and already holes have been poked into my thought that at least the last week they've been good. So this is all, this is part of the fun. Wash Redskin says, O's don't overthink it. If you don't overthink it, you're going to lose in MLB. Maybe you cash here, but we did the Tigers don't overthink it, some of us yesterday, and that blew up in our face. So here, if you take Trout and Ohtani out of this Angels lineup, it's atrocious. Moniak, Renfroe, Drury, Wallach, Rengifo, Nato, and Levon Soto. I mean, that's atrocious.
I'm on first 5 under with you, minus 115 for me. Under 4.5. So
I am on both. I'm going to double up here. I'm going to take the first 5 under and the full game under 8.5.
I'll say something that's been happening to me a lot recently. If I feel great about a game, I definitely double, triple up. I even quadrupled up yesterday. So. Because there's not many games you feel good about anymore, really. It's like I feel good about like 2 games. I'm like, all right, gotta keep it going. So, yeah, I like your look. I'm on first 5 under with you.
Sharpie says, since you brought up when I was on the show how your ROI versus bullpen days was bad, so you stay off. I've noticed these big faves like the Padres yesterday not covering on pen days. Yeah, man. It's huge. I've got to figure out more to do with it. I mean, we're evolving as a group betting baseball. But Wash Redskin says I had the Tigers too. Is a good play with Hill pitching. I think you got to rethink good plays. Wash Redskin. The books set this up to take all the money on the Tigers. They had it set up that all the money would go on the Tigers. So, but you know what? If you still think it was a good play, that's part of the fun. The autonomy in this business, you can cap any way you want, and if you get results, keep doing it. I'm going to double up here on first 5 under and full game under. I did not expect to have this action, but after we broke it down, let's move on it. Jose, let's line shop for you on the first 5 under here. Move over here. So Pinnacles turn that into a pick'em. Your first 5 under will give you the best line available. You haven't tweeted anything out today?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, I didn't think I was gonna have much action on this card. But I have like 2 spots that I like, and then I've added this one, I guess. So.
Well, you can get the first 5 under 4.5 at plus 102.
Wow, what the hell? Minus 115 on Bovada. You get it plus 102. That's fucking ridiculous.
You know what? The first 5 is being bet way up. Why would that be? The full game bet down. The first 5 bet way up. Wow. Okay. Okay, I can't. I'm not. These situations, and some of you can say I take the market too closely, but the times when the first 5 under is being bet up and the full game's being bet down, it's too often the first 5 has gone over.
Yeah,
and the full game's gone under.
I'll go ahead and take full game then. Yeah, because I remember distinctly this happening to me with you actually. I don't remember like what Thursday it was, but I remember this exact same scenario. You took both. I took one. Mine loses. One of yours cashes. So I'll just move on full game under then. So that's
under 8.5 at minus 105 at my bookie. I'm going to take the first 5 off as well. So Jose, full game under 8.5 at minus 105 available at my bookie, and I'm going to be betting the full game under at some point here.
And obviously the market's not the end all be all, but just based off the last 2 days of success for me and just looking at weird lines and betting on those weird lines, it just seems like it's something that we should definitely pay attention to. All
right. Let's roll on. So Angels, Orioles, full game under 8.5 for both Jose and I. All right, let's move on to 1:10 p.m. Eastern. The Tampa Bay Rays at the New York Mets. Mets here. This was, first off, I find Taj Bradley extremely difficult to cap. If you guys noticed what he did in AAA before coming up at Durham, he got completely lit up. He was horrible. Now, everybody knows that he's got a huge opportunity to succeed in the show, but let's pull up some of these numbers for Taj. Here we go. And I read some articles on what they thought was going wrong with him at the AAA level, but it's just 5 starts and 16 innings, but he allowed 20 earned runs.
Yeah.
13 strikeouts and 9 walks, 5 homers. And he's come into the majors and he's been quite a bit better.
You know what I was thinking? I thought it was just a classic. I got a taste of the majors. I got the sweet wine and everything. And then you get set back down to the minors and you're like, what the fuck, dude? I don't want to be the fuck down here. And you're just not like fully 100% into it.
Yeah, that doesn't give me that. So we saw like Tristan McKenzie. I think it was like not last year, but the year before. Might even been last year. But I think it was 2 years ago. He got sent down to the minors. He was down there for 2 months. He had a 5 ERA in the show. And then he came up and he was lights out. Mm-hmm. I like that. I like when that situation. You get a taste of the big leagues. You go down to the minors. You don't want to be there. And you pitch really well. I don't know what to do with Taj Bradley. I really don't. 23 strikeouts and 2 walks. That's spectacular. 2 home runs. Maybe he's just spectacular and he was mailing it in. Maybe that's the best way to handle it. Coming off an Say what?
I think. What do you think's the difference in situation here then with Todd? Just the months, I guess. Tertian McKenzie was down there for a long time, and he was there for like 2 weeks.
Oh, I think the difference is that Taj Bradley thinks he's the motherfucking man.
That's probably facts, yeah.
I think that's the biggest difference. And he's down there. He's like, "Why am I down here?" And he was just sort of mailing it in.
Yeah, it's kind of what I figure as well.
So,
for one reason or another.
And Nut Flush Allen says, for myself personally, I'm treating Rich Hill and Adam Wainwright of last year. Seems like obvious fade, but nope. And the Pirates are making sure he faces weak lineups. That's over from a Nut Flush Allen.
Cardinals had no shame about Wainwright this year.
Sharpie says, today will be the first day I let Taj go. Mets have done some damage to some good pitchers of late. Strider, Morton, Green, and he can get hit. And if he does, I don't expect the Rays to leave him out to die. Ron Lofton on the Nerfy. So let's take a look at the weather and the line history and the cash, and then move on here. First off, 59 Fahrenheit, 7.2 miles per hour to left center, and it gets stronger as the game goes on. It gets up to 10.3 miles per hour out to left center. Let's go to the line history here for this one over at this is going to be so annoying. I can't believe they changed this on me. So we're going to go full game money line history here. The Rays right now are minus 108, and that's exactly what they opened at. Now, this didn't open until 7:53 this morning. So it's exactly where it opened, minus 108. We'll take a look at the total here. The total has gone. God, it's so annoying. I'm going to have to use a different book. There's some books that have 9.5. Pinnacle opened this up at 8.5 at 7:53. Now it's at 9. It did get to 9.5, and they dropped it back to 9. Some books are hanging 9.5s. That makes me think that the big bets are going to be all over this over. And let's take a look if that's the case. We have 78% of tickets, 81% of cash on the over. 71% of tickets, 88% of cash on the Rays, and there's been no movement to the Rays. Joe Yurkovich says no Franco in the lineup. Nate Dogg leaning to the over. Piker says he's back to the well on the Rays again. Tampa should be a massive favorite here. A lot of Rays value on the money line considering cutting the bullpens out, though. Corgerino says just hate the spot for the Mets. Coming off huge wins and extras again against the best team in the league and coming back to a day game seems like a flat spot. Abdi, nice to see you, Abdi. Abdi's on the Rays. Let's take a look here at a couple more pieces to this puzzle. First off, Tyler Miggle, 4-2, 4.02 ERA, 1.51 WHIP. At home, he's been quite a bit better than he's been on the road, and he's coming off a decent start at Washington. 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, just 1 was earned, 4 Ks and 4 walks. Look, his K to walk ratio is bad, and he's not going to be one of the starting 5 here when push comes to shove for the Mets and they're healthy. But 21 in the third, 3.38 ERA, 216 opponents batting average at home. Rays hitting 269, 845 versus righties. Mets just 247, 10. And the Rays bullpen has been struggling of late. They've only converted 11 of 21 saves, 3.86 ERA, 1.20 WHIP. And the Mets bullpen, 4.06 ERA, 1.20 WHIP. Sharpie says, to me, it's a first 5 over spot. Says Miguel belongs in AAA, but Mets have no one to call up. Velocity down as box scores show it. Take it away. I'm all ears, Jose. Take it away, Rays, Mets.
Yeah, this is a tough game for me, too. The lineup, like Rocco Rogers is saying, is pretty weak. No Yandy Diaz, no Wander. And he's saying the Rays are minus 105. I've got him on minus 115. Does not make sense to him. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've said it every game in this series, and I'll keep kind of saying it. I'd take the Rays, in all these cheap prices. Last night it would have screwed you, but, walk-off home run, come back from 3 down, et cetera, whatever. That happens. First game it won kind of easily. So I'd honestly be on the Rays here again in some form or fashion. Maybe a team total, maybe a first 5 team total over 2.5 there. I was looking at both. I guess I don't know what to expect from Taj. That's why it keeps me off, I guess, like sidewise. That's why I was leaning more towards the team totals. And by the way, Ragu also says he loves Taj. Been waiting on him since last year, and now he's back up again. So I'll tell you, I think it's Rays or pass for me. And I've liked Miguel a lot, but just like Sharpie saying, velocity down. I mean, last year he was throwing 99, 100. And then he hurt his shoulder, and now he's just not really been the same. So I like the Rays, but I guess I'm passing here.
It's funny how you start talking these out with everybody and you listen to the chat, Von Polo on Tampa all day. And now I see what I should have bet, but I'm late to the party. That first 5 at 4.5, I think was a great over bet. It's gone. It's 5s now. And I want the 5 to be a win and not a push. And then this opened up at 8.5. Now it's 9.5 at most books.
Yeah, shut to Stacks. He got it at 8.5.
Mike M says McGill, and it's McGill. I
Yeah.
know we've been hitting the me, but it's no need for that. McGill likes his unders, and it's cold New York City. The balls will not fly out. Tampa Bay team total under first 5 and full game. McGill possible over 4.5 Ks. Fat Wally's got internet back. I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna have to stay off of it, but it's too bad. It's now sort of become clear.
It's gonna be a good game.
And let's go back to that weather here quickly. Is it that cold? I guess 59, 60. I mean, it's not freezing, but it's not warm.
I need to call Dommy Gun. You can call him and ask.
Good idea. All right. Too bad. Too bad that this all came to fruition too late. Let's move on to 1:10 p.m. Eastern, and I expect that we'll be done before 12:35 first pitch. We will be, so I'll be able to put my action in then. But let's move on to 1:10 p.m. Eastern. Washington Nationals 18-25, 10-11 on the road at the Miami Marlins, 22-21, 13-11 at home. We're at Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. We're all excited about Yuri Perez. We talked about him a ton before his last start. 6'8", 20-year-old Dominican, number 1 prospect in the Marlins system. He throws triple digits. He is said to have the best changeup that existed in the minors before he was called up. He looked good for the Blue Wahoos this year, even though he struggled a little bit in 2022 down there in AA. And he has his first start. It's 7-4 loss at home to the Reds, but he looked fine. He allowed 2 solo shots, 4 2/3, 4 hits, 7 Ks, 2 walks. Now he gets his second consecutive home start. And I think that's a great spot for him, right? I mean, just from a baseball side, I'm like, man, now he gets to go again against a weak hitting Nationals team. Wow, And then, look, I love fading Trevor Williams from an eye test standpoint. He looks vulnerable, but he is quite good at times, and he seems to be sort of undervalued in the marketplace. And the sharps are all over the Nats. And so you put that together and you're like, well, I guess I can't bet Yuri even though I believe in him in this spot. Nats rating 243, 651 OPS versus righties. Marlins is 239, 673 OPS. Trevor Williams, 3-2 win at home over the Mets. Was that rain shortened start?
I don't know, but it seems like it. That's what my guess as well.
I believe it was, but I don't have that in front of me. But he's been... anybody can pick up Trevor Williams for a cup of coffee, and he seems to be a decent starter.
Yeah, he's going to get traded.
So let's open this up here. Wash Redskin looking at the Nats as well. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. I have to move to each individual spot to see the line history now, which is extremely annoying. And maybe I should just move to a different site, and I might have to.
One slight change in the website and you just throw it away. It's hilarious. And I get it, but it just makes me laugh.
It was perfect the way it was. But
shout out to Chocolate Waterfall, by the way. I hope you slap me in the chest soon.
Oh, nice. Chocolate Waterfall in the house. Great to see you. DC Capper ready to rock with us. Miami opening up minus 154. They're now minus 151. They were down to minus 141. So there had been the Nats had gone from plus 142 all the way to plus 130. But now they're back plus 139. So a 3-cent move to the Nationals. 3-cent move to the Nationals. Let's take a look at the total here for this one. We have opening up at 8, and there's been a move to the under. At Pinnacle, this opened up. At Pinnacle, this opened up minus 114 to the over. It's now minus 103 to the over. So an 11-cent move to the under. So a 3-cent move to the Nationals and an 11-cent move to the under. Take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have 60% of the tickets and 58% of the cash on the Marlins. That's come way down. There was a ton more action on the Marlins. There's been it's come down. So I'm surprised that it's come down, but it has. And then total wise, 34% of the tickets and 87% of cash on the under. So I guess what I'm starting to think now is that the under must be the play, because I like Yuri Perez in this opportunity, but maybe Trevor Williams is about to pitch well. Take it away, Jose. Very interested in your breakdown. Nationals, Marlins.
Yeah, breakdown brought me to an under. I think Yuri is going to pitch well. Both these offenses are horrible. Marlins, and yeah, that the Marlins were the side I also wrote down too. Obviously, -1, first 5, -0.5 here. But this just like they have first 5 -0.5 at -110. That feels like it's asking you, please bet this, please bet this, please bet this, and you know what's going to happen? 0-0. So I like the first 5 under here, honestly, under 4.5. Right now it's at -125. Honestly, I was considering taking a 4 at +110, just because I think both these guys are going to pitch well, and shout out to Sharpie for the over 4.5 strikeouts there for Team Balking Dead. I would like to see Team Balking Dead jerseys. That'd be a nice little jersey there. You know, that'd be interesting. Yeah. And the logo would be interesting as well in the jersey. But yeah, I like first 5 under here, and I'm going to make that official. The real question is, do I make first 5 under 4 official? Excuse me, first 5 under 4, 4.5. I think I'll go with 4. Honestly, I have to remind myself that weighted coin flips, if I'm going to lose the weighted coin flip, et cetera, I'd rather it be for plus money than my paying juice. So under 4 at plus money for me on Bovada. It actually just moved from +110 to +105. So
+109 at Pinnacle.
Beautiful.
And Sharpie also pulled the trigger on the Taj over 4.5. 7 left-handed bats in the Mets lineup with his sample size. He's striking them out 2-1 for some good teams. All right. I like this. So I'm going to join you on that first 5 under. I'm going to take the 4.5.
Just to make you feel a little bit better about this one as well, career-wise for Trevor Williams, I also was interested to see like how well has he done in his career. 3-1 with a 3.5 ERA so far, and apparently Trevor Williams has seen the Marlins twice this year, which I did not look up, or I guess I didn't realize, and he's gotten touched up a little bit by them this year apparently. I need to double check that, but 3-1 with a 3 ERA does make me feel better about this. Interesting. I don't know why Baseball Reference has that there then. That's weird. But yeah, he's also pitched well historically against them.
Big show picks in the house. Okay, I'm about to lock these 2 bets in. Let's talk about a bet I've already locked in. Cleveland Guardians 19-23, 10-11 on the road. The Chicago White Sox 16-28, 9-12 at home. Guaranteed rate field in Chicago, Illinois. Start with the weather in Chirac, 69 Fahrenheit, 9.1 miles per hour in, gets up to 9.5 miles per hour. Take a look at the line history here for this one. Sorry, let's move over from Pinnacle. Take a look at the line history here. We'll start with the total. This total opened up at 8, juiced to the over. Yesterday at 4:58 p.m. It's now 7.5, slightly juiced to the under. So we have a half-run move to the under. Let's go to the money line and pull this up. Cease and Logan Allen. Now, one thing that could happen to me, and I'm going to try to be as aware of it as possible, there's been a 6 cents of movement towards the White Sox, is that maybe I don't have Logan Allen. Maybe I don't respect Logan Allen enough. And that's a legitimate possibility for me. Johnny K on the Guardians, Darren Turner on the Guardians, Rick J, Joe Yurkovich on the White Sox. And I'm on the White Sox first 5. DC Capper also on the White Sox. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this Guardians or White Sox spot. 53% of the tickets, 62% of the cash on the White Sox. Then 59% of the tickets and 76% of the cash on the over, which is confusing. Because it's dropped from 8 to 7.5. Billy Friedrich on the White Sox money line, run line in the first 5, team total over 131. Let's talk about Logan Allen. First off, 24 years old, turns 25 in a week and a half. Second round pick out of FIU in 2020. This year, he opened it in Columbus, and he was very good. He started 3 games, 14 in the third. He allowed 2 earned runs and 20 strikeouts. Last year in AAA, he got lit up. 14 starts, he got destroyed. And he wasn't given an opportunity to pitch in the bigs. He got lit up. 6.49 ERA, a 1.56 whip. He was great or good in AA, got destroyed in AAA. Then this year, he was excellent in AAA, and he's been good for Cleveland here. He's been good. Sharpie says, best bet today, Guardians team total under 3.5. Says Cease has faced 10 teams since 2022 with bad ISO. He has allowed 5 runs in 59 innings of work. 1 game was 3 runs, 7 games, 0 runs. Not even talking past history. I believe in Dylan Cease. I also believe we're getting this number because of how bad he's been. We're not trying to catch a falling knife. Last start, he was very good at home against the Astros. Now the Astros bats aren't clicking right now, but 6 innings, 4 hits, 5 Ks, 2 walks, a 3-1 win at home. You know, he's been bad at home, but now he's got consecutive home starts, and I believe in him. Logan Allen coming off a 5-4 loss at home to the Angels. Logan Allen's only had 1 road start this year. It was at Fenway. So now it's his 2nd road start of the year. What's he going to give you? I don't know. But the White Sox are starting to hit lefties again. Let's be ahead of the curve and not behind it. And also, Guardians are hitting 232, 646 versus righties. Don't have Ramirez in the lineup. I don't want to mess with the bullpen advantage that the Guardians have, so I'm only first 5. I got minus 110 at Bet Online. It was minus 115 at Bet 365. White Sox, first 5, minus 110 for me. Jose Bouquett, guaranteed right field. Chicago, Illinois, Guardians, White Sox, take it away.
Yeah, I've shockingly enough been on the White Sox the last 2 days. Cash has been quite nice, quite easy actually. Honestly, I'm doubling up on the White Sox here. First 5, minus a half, minus 110, full game, minus 1, plus 105. Dylan Cease dominates the White Sox. We've already said that enough, or dominates the Indians, I should say, the Guardians. They don't have Jose Ramirez. Their lineup is horrible. And like you said, this month against lefties, it's only 57 plate appearances, but we'll take it. 167 weighted or 165 weighted runs created plus, second best in the league. JP's asking if we trust the White Sox bullpen now. I mean, honestly, no, but it's just the Guardians' bats are so bad that I just truly am not going to be too concerned about whatever they're throwing out there. You know, like people have said in the chat, Jose Ramirez on the bereavement list. Without him, lineup's pretty bad. So I'm going to keep fading the Guardians as well. I understand their bullpen last 14 days, fourth best, 2.60 ERA, but it has a 3.94 FIP. So I'll try to take advantage of all this, and we'll sum it up with White Sox today as well again.
You got it. What was the line on your minus 1?
Plus 105.
Minus 1 plus 105 for Jose. Yeah, I think a lot of us are on the same page here. And it's not about, do I trust the White Sox bullpen now? The White Sox bullpen is better. Do I trust them now? I fear the Guardians bullpen. I don't want to bet into a place where I have a disadvantage, but I get it. I get why you are also using the full game here.
I mean, the ideal scenario is just like it happened in the first 5 innings last time, or I should say, I guess that was the Lance Lynn start. They just scored 6 runs in the first 5 innings and we'll be chilling for the rest of the game. That's the ideal scenario, and that's what I'm kind of hoping for. Because obviously, yeah, the Guardians bullpen is great. But by the way, Mr. Heat casually dropping a Cease no-hitter. You heard it here. Remember when I did that last year? I don't remember who it was with, and he went no-hit through like 6 innings. That was sick.
By the way, Big Show Picks recording a new Locker Room Talk episode right after this show is done. So it's starring Millsy and Billy Brisbane. And Brisbane going to be joining us here in NBA shortly. All right, that's locked in. So Jose doubling up on the White Sox. I'm on the White Sox first 5. And I've got the bet in for my under in the Angels game. I just got to get that first 5 under in.
Well, I can introduce this next game if you'd like while you do the bets.
No, I'm okay. That was the one I needed to get in. I just haven't put it on Twitter, but that's fine because that one starts in 25 minutes. I'm good. Let's roll on because I want to begin this breakdown with our guy Ron Crawford. Spreadsheet play of the day is on this one, coming off a casher yesterday with the Orioles. 12-10 is the spreadsheet play of the day, hitting at 54.5%. Plus 1.86 units, ROI plus 8.45% with an average line of minus 103. And he is on the Toronto Blue Jays, minus 1 at plus 109. Blue Jays, minus 1 at plus 109, spreadsheet play of the day. Mike M says Jose Barrios 15-0 straight up at home if he was favored more than minus 120 in his previous start. I wanted to bet Barrios. I want to fade Nestor Cortes, but I also don't want to be on the other side of what I perceive is sharp action. Carlos Garcia in the house. Yes, the roof will be closed. It is cold here in Toronto. Cold. Okay, Nestor Cortes going up against Jose Barrios. Yankees 9-10 on the road this year. Blue Jays are now 13-5 after the Danny Jansen walk-off. Let's go to the line history here to get rolling. This is going to be a very fun game on a light card. Sorry, God, I gotta get used to this. Okay, here we go. The Yankees open up at Pinnacle at plus 123. They're now plus 125. They got down to plus 112 at 11 last night. So buyback on the Yankees. Let's take a look at what they are on the total here. And I want to fade Cortes. It's fair to say that last year might be an aberration. It's fair to say, he has this monster year. He gets married. He runs New York. And it lasts for a year. This total opened up at 9. It's now at 8.5. 9 and 8.5. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have 64% of the tickets and 72% of the cash on the Yankees. Oh, sorry, that's the over. Sorry. No, 64 and 74. Sorry. 64% of tickets, 74% of cash on the Yankees, 62% of the cash and 62% of the bets and 72% of cash on the over. Sorry, I did that poorly. 64 and 74 on the Yankees, 62 and 72 on the over. We see some buyback on the Yankees and the market moving towards the under and not respecting the over money. Fernando Mendoza is on the Blue Jays money line. Nate Dogg, Toronto money line leaning over, and Barrios over K's. Robert Franklin is on the Yankees money line, and Joe Yurkovich got in early on the Yankees first 5 team total over 1.5. Cortes has looked bad. 5.53 ERA, a 1.32 WHIP. He got lit up at home on his last start, 4 1/3, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 3 Ks, 2 walks. He's been destroyed on the road so far this year. Only 15 innings, 7.20 ERA, 237 opponents batting average. Barrios is lights out at home. I mean, it's only been 17 and 2/3 innings, but 1.53 ERA. Opponents hitting 212 against him. He's coming off a nice start at home versus the Braves, and we know what their sticks are like. Yankees are hitting just 238, 716 OPS versus righties. Jays 274, 748 OPS. Yankees bullpen very good. Jays bullpen decent. Take it away for us here, Jose. We have the spreadsheet play today on the Blue Jays. What's your move?
Yeah, this is a pretty easy pass game for me, honestly, Jimmy. This is a shocking line to see Jose Barrios favored this high. Honestly, just based off, I guess, value or whatever you want to call it, I'd take the Yankees, but yeah, this is a pass game for me. I don't trust Jose Barrios. He pitches better at home, obviously, when there's no one yelling at him and telling him that he sucks. And Nestor Cortes, the one season wonder. I hate to see it. I just, as a left-handed pitcher myself that has a mustache that's very shitty on occasions, I wanted to see him succeed, but drats. You hate to see it. So I passed this game. I leaned over, but with all those tickets on the over and all those cash on the over and the market just kind of spitting in those faces. So maybe an under, but it's an easy pass game, unfortunately.
I would love to be on the Blue Jays here. I'd love it, but I just don't want to be on the other side of the big bets, even if I don't, agree with it. My action is in now. LA, my additions. You guys know I'm already on the White Sox first 5 minus a half minus 110. I got LA, Baltimore under 8.5 at minus 110. And I did take the hook, Washington, Miami first 5 under 4.5 at minus 125. Those are both available at Bet 365. Okay. JP just says I can only see an over here. I'm very curious to see what Nestor Cortez does. And I'd love to back Barrios, but I cannot. Let's talk about the final game, MLB on the board, and then we have NBA with Billy Brisbane. This is another one I wanted to bet already. 7:45 p.m. Eastern, LA Dodgers 28-16, 11-9 on the road at St. Louis Cardinals 18-26, 8-14 at home at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. Let's see what we're talking about weather-wise in St. Louis. 79 Fahrenheit, 7.7 miles per hour, right to the left field pole. Within an hour, it's just right to left, right across the diamond. Stays between 7.7 and 6.4 miles per hour. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Our final game on the card, and an exciting one as well. We total-wise, this opened up at 8.5 and is now at 9. Pinnacle didn't open it up at 8.5, though. Pinnacle opened it up this morning at 7:49. The books that opened it up last night opened up at 8.5. They opened it up at 9 minus 114 to the under, and it still went to 8.5. It moved to 8.5 at 8:30, and then back up to 9. So right now it's juiced to the over 9. So there's been 13 cents of movement to the over, but it's somewhat new. So 13 cents of movement to the over. Let's take a look at the money line movement here as well, and then we will move on to the cash flow and then hear what Jose has to say about the spot. The no movement. Dodgers open up minus 144 right now. They're minus 143. So we have no movement on the money line and a pretty big move to the over, even though the early action was on the under. Troy Torrance in the house. What up, Troy? All right. Chocolatey Waterfall pumped up after cashing on the Heat yesterday.
You know, Chocolatey Waterfall, if the Heat beat the Celtics, you'll just have to suffocate me. And I would really appreciate that. I'll hit you up on Twitter if that happens.
All right.
What she'll use to suffocate me, I don't know, but she'll have to suffocate me because I won't want to be in this earth.
Let's take a look at the cash flow here for this spot. We have 30% of the tickets and 76% of cash on the Cardinals. So I guess that's why it's not moving. You know, you have the public on the Dodgers, 69% of tickets. You'd think you'd like to see a little bit of movement to the Cardinals if you want to back them, but I don't want Wayne, right? Then 37% of tickets and 44% of cash on the under. Chocolatey Waterfall is in, by the way. Is in. So Urias is a question mark on the road, but that's only 20 and 2/3 innings. I'm not going to believe there's got to be positive regression. I think I trust him as a pitcher, even though you thought he was vulnerable in the World Baseball Classic.
That an asshole, man. He was. I bet on him. What a dickhead, that guy.
He's been lights out at home.
Yeah.
Coming off a nice start at home, 4-2 win over the Padres. But on the road, 6.10 ERA. On the road, 3.10 opponent's batting average. By the way, Sammy Comer says Yankees 0-9 straight up since July 2022 after being shut out the previous game. Shout out to Sammy Comer. I hope you guys follow him on Twitter. He's just destroying, especially in tennis, but he's fresh off cashing, including the Miami Heat money line last night.
It's funny watching Sam Comer cash all those tennis tickets, and I'm like, who the fuck are these people?
Much love, Nate Dogg. Thank you for stopping by. Sharpie says Dodgers money line for him. 6-0 when betting on or against his team. Wayno on the other side, coming off an 8-6 win at the Red Sox. We cashed the first 5 over and the full game over with ease in that spot going up against Paxton. I don't trust him at all. He wasn't terrible. He allowed 4 earned runs in 5 innings. He wasn't good. Dodgers versus righties, 245, 798 OPS. I don't know how they don't light him up. Cards versus righties, 260, but with very little power at 741 OPS. Dodgers bullpen is starting to improve, as Sharpie said they would. 4.12 ERA, 1.33 whip, converted 12 to 17 save opportunities. Cards bullpen, 3.55 ERA, 1.33 whip, have converted 8 of 19 save opportunities. Take it away for us here, Jose Bouquett, Dodgers, Cardinals.
I hate to do this, but I'm on the Cardinals. First 5 money line, full game money line. And I also think I'm going to eat the juice with the first 5 team total. And Sharpie, I do not fucking love being against Sharpie, obviously, especially when he's in a 6-0 spot of betting on his team. But I just believe in the Cardinals right now. They're one of the hottest teams in baseball. I bet on them recently. They've been cashing. And this is just another kind of like weird fishy line to me, honestly. So I took it here. The Cardinals numbers against lefties, like Sharpie was mentioning, not as good as you would think. But I think those numbers will bounce back and go to a positive, more positive form. Full season, 106 weighted runs created plus. That's 15th best. Last month, this whole month, I guess I should say, 27th, 84 weighted runs created plus, 193 plate appearances. So they've just not been good against lefties. But I think they will bounce back here. They've been one of the best hitting teams against lefties last 2 years. They've been in a great form recently. I'll say again, because I didn't look this up last night, I think the Cardinals are bet on to win this division here. So I took them first 5 money line, full game money line, and I'm going to take them and unfortunately eat the juice here. First 5 team total over 1.5, minus 140 on Bet Online. You can probably hopefully find better, but I am going to bet that.
Wow, some wild numbers here. Plus 144 at Bet Chris, which is crazy high.
Money line? Full game?
First 5, which is crazy high compared to other books. So that's a good start for you. That's 12 cents higher than Pinnacle. Then full game, Bet Chris giving you the best line there as well, plus 138. So we'll lock you down here. So, Jose, when you were struggling to start the season off, I just didn't want people to get in your head and just for you to work it out. But I see the difference in what you are doing now. You are trying to outthink and outsmart baseball because you know that the best team doesn't always win. And if all you did was bet on the best baseball team, you'd be horrifically in the red.
Yep. You'd have a winning record, but you'd be like negative 50 units just for all the juice and everything, right?
Unless, look, I've seen cappers who only bet favorites succeed, but they get in the night before. It's possible. It's possible. But now you're outthinking the sport and you're reaping the benefits of it. And it's tricky. Baseball's so tricky. It's just not simple. It's not easy. It's not, it's so tricky. So I see your success and I think it will be long lasting. So keep doing what you're doing. And we look forward to watch you continue to climb out of this hole. Let's review all action here. I'm staying off of Dodgers, Cardinals. I agree. The sharp action's on the Cardinals. There's not a chance that I want to back Wainwright. So,
yeah, I feel this. I felt the same way about some of the pitchers this last week. I just have to eat it, I don't even want to watch the games, honestly. Like I didn't watch a second of Lance Lynn pitch when I had money on him. So I actually watched intently Lib last night. But yeah, I understand completely.
And a little talk about Urias. Sharpie saying Julio's had an issue in any game with a team with a high walk percentage. The Cards are walking a crappy 5.1% for his left-handed pitching over the last 200 plate appearances. Their numbers are bad and haven't seen many good left-handed pitchers.
James Paxton pitched well against the Cardinals too, and so did Sale. So that's I'm
Paxton. There was 14 runs scored in that.
He only gave up 2. Not his fault.
How many innings did he go?
It's 4 or 5. Take that every fucking
5.
time. They'll take that every time from James Paxton. He hasn't pitched in the majors in like 5 years. 2 of 5 innings, 2 earned runs. No doubt.
I don't think he went 5. I need to, because I don't know what to do with Paxton as we move forward. And
I think Paxton's going to be bet on. He looked really good. He was throwing 98. Man,
his velocities.
That's not normal for James Paxton. So
let me just see this here. That was an 8-6 loss. Let's go to this box score quickly. We had Paxton go. Oh, you're right. 5 full. 9 strikeouts, 1 walk. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Okay, let's review all action. Jose and I are both on the under 8.5 in Los Angeles Angels, Baltimore Orioles. That pops off in 16 minutes. He got under 8.5 minus 105. I got minus 110. Rays, Mets, we have stayed off. I wish I should have. It just sometimes you talk it out with everybody here in the chat, and then the action becomes clear, and I should have been on it. The over is in that game, but I'm too late, and I'm not going to force it. Jose is on the first 5 under 4 at plus 109 in Washington, Miami. I'm on the first 5 under 4.5 at minus 125. I'm on the White Sox first 5 minus 110. That concludes my action, all afternoon action for me, which is fine because tonight I've got the hockey game action, possible NBA action, and be focusing solely on horses as we got the Preakness at the Preakness on Saturday morning. White Sox first 5 minus a half for Jose and full game minus 1 at plus 105. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today is the Jays minus 1. We're off that, and it's too bad. I'd like to be on that. And Cards first 5 plus 144 and full game plus 138 for Jose. Piker says my top look, Dodgers over. Urias poor on the road. Uncle Charlie with bad numbers versus Dodgers. Good hitting weather. Dodgers massive overtrends in the road. And likewise big overtrends at home for the Cards.
I was surprised at how good Wainwright's numbers were against the Dodgers, I'll be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, you're talking
I was
career
looking
long.
Yeah, I was looking full career. So obviously, like his early stats, like you're saying, but 7-6 with a 2.79. I was like, wow. In the last 2 seasons, he only pitched against them 3 times, but had a 4.32 ERA both times. Wow, not bad, not bad.
I agree with you, Piker. I agree with you. It's just the idea that the sharp or early action was on the under, dropping it down to 8.5. You know, that's enough to scare me off of it. So, but I do agree with you. It's just enough to stay for me to stay off. JPC parlayed the under 8.5 in the Orioles money line. Roger that in the house.
Shot, Roger.
So Piker's on Tampa and that over. I've only got 3 spots on the card. Jose has more. Exciting. Jose, we believe in you. Keep climbing out. I'll be watching your action closely. Talk to us a little bit about the rest of the weekend for you. You have Say Hey plays on Friday, and you got a lot of action going up to Dallas. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it before we get into NBA with Billy Brisbane?
Sure. Again, shout out to the chat. Everyone except for Razor Sharp Picks. He's a little bitter about the 76ers still. I get it. I understand. I would be too. But shout out to everyone in the chat as always. Yes, we have Say Hey plays today, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Or should I say Friday, not Thursday, but Friday. We have it with Connor Mack picks. Today, I think we're going to do a playback as well. We're going to vibe and see how all that works out. So definitely always be checking the playback because good shit are always working. And by the way, Nutflush is saying I'm still not listening. He's saying I should take the team total instead of full game team total. You're right. You're probably right about that. I just didn't because of the home team there, Nutflush. That's the only reason why I didn't take full game. But
did you take the first 5 team total over?
Yeah.
Oh,
I took
I don't have
1.5 minus 140 or whatever it is.
My bad. Sorry. So Cards, thank you for first 5 team total over 1.5 at minus what?
140. It's a bit juicy, but yeah, I took that one, and I took specifically first 5 because I wanted all the at bats instead of the cutoff from the top of the 9th and all that stuff. So that's my reasoning there, Nutflush. But shout out to you because Nutflush called me the other day. We had a gambling life chat. And suddenly my winning picks started happening. So it's funny how that works out.
Yeah, you get your tits slapped. You get a gambling life talk from Nutflush.
Mm-hmm. And then hopefully, yeah,
the Juice King.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Huh?
Thank you. And then maybe not hopefully soon, but hopefully soon, Chocolatey Waterfall will suffocate me in some form or fashion. But Saturday, going up to Dallas, we'll be doing a live Say Hey plays right beside Dabby Cab. That'll be a whole lot of fun. Sunday, we'll be doing another list Say Hey plays besides Dabby Cab as well. So that'll be a good time. And if you're in the Dallas area, you have nothing to do Saturday afternoon, come watch some baseball. It'll be fun. Me and Cabby are going to be there. Rangers, Rockies, not the sexiest matchup in the world. John Gray versus Kyle Freeland, allegedly. But we love it. We love to see it. It'll be a whole lot of fun. So I cannot wait. J-Dub, I'm not getting slapped next week. That already happened, thankfully.
Bro.
Yeah, that hurts. That hurts. Cab even said, I'll slap you when you get up here, you know. I was like, I'm not making this a thing. I'm not just going to be the slap dummy now. But, you know, shout out to my guy, Soda Pop Hendricks. I'm not sure. Shout out to him. But, yeah, I can't wait.
Can I hear your Dabby Cab impression once more?
My name was Dabby Cab. I want to slap Jose. But yeah, so I can't wait for that. But it'll be a whole lot of fun. Shout out to Billy about to come on for the NBA, a much better NBA capper than I am. So I'm excited to hear what he has to say about this. But let's go Nuggets.
All right, there is Jose Bloody Tits Bouquett. It's time to talk NBA here. We have just the man for the job from South Jersey in the house. West Finals Game 2 on tap. Please welcome Billy Brisbane to the show. Brizzy, how are you?
Doing good, man. Rolling off of a nice little Miami Heat bet. It's a nice way to comprehend the Sixers loss. And I'm here publicly to say, Jim, no longer a Sixer fan.
Oh man, yeah, it's tough. It is tough. I hope you don't.
Wadiama we trust.
I hope you don't hire JJ Redick though. I want to hire him, but nobody else does. Everybody I talk to is like, people are against the Redick signing.
We mean they. We're speaking in past tense. I hope they hire Mike D'Antoni.
Oh yeah, get some short shorts out there.
Get some short shorts. Get James Harden back out there, man. They'll be all right.
D'Antoni, that guy's a winner. He's won. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, he's not.
Hey, that's a day thing. It's in the past.
Oh, you're right. He hasn't won shit.
Go Spurs.
Maybe he'll fit just in perfectly with the Sixers. Let's focus on the on the Lakers here. But yeah, you guys, you can have D'Antoni all you want, man. Fuck. All right. West Finals Game 2. Denver leading the series 1-0. Billy Brisbane joining us. Let's get to work. Lakers 43-39 in the regular season, but we shouldn't talk about what they were in the regular season. They're a completely different team here in the playoffs. Going up against the Denver Nuggets, 53-29, 34-7 at home. We're in Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. Take a look at the line history here for this one. By the way, nines are on the board. Nines are on the board for tomorrow. I can't wait to talk about that game. But let's talk about this spot here. Lakers, Denver. This opened up at Pinnacle with the Lakers +6. This was on Tuesday at 11:30 at night. That 6 lasted for 2 minutes. 2 minutes before it moved to 5.5, which is where it has been. The 5.5 got juiced a couple times a bit, up to -113. But it's a pick'em right now. 5.5 at a pick'em. Let's take a look at the total for this one. We have this opening up at 225.5. Let's see if it opened up at Pinnacle 225.5. It did. 225.5 juice to the under. Now 226.5 juice to the over. Obviously, the first 2 games of both series soared over. So we know that the betting public will be dealing with a recency bias on the total. This series has been played it's only one game. It's been played at the Denver Nuggets pace. The reason why the score was so high was because of the efficiency from both teams. It was very, very, very high. Lakers were the 4th fastest team in pace regular season, while the Nuggets were 24th. Lakers played at 101.92 possessions a game. The playoffs, they played at 99.70. This series, game 1 was played at 97.5. The Nuggets played at 98.74, and now they're playing at 96.37. Billy Friedrich says this total number is very sharp, should be around 222. He's off the total. Joe Yurkovich says Lakers money line for him. Danny Lopez says Lakers took Denver's best shot. Give me the points. Johnny K says Lakers figured them out in the 4th quarter. They're going to steal this one. Did they figure it out by moving Hachimura to defend Jokic? That is the important question here.
I thought they did figure it out a little bit. Switching out him and D'Angelo Russell was highly beneficial. When I saw that starting lineup of Schroeder and Russell, I was like, holy shit, they might get fried.
But, I mean, I said yesterday, it's not like Malone's not going to have an answer. It's not like Jokic, who's the smartest.
It's a height thing, though. It's more of a height thing. The Denver Nuggets are the 4th tallest team in the NBA. They have Austin Reeves, who's 6'5", guarding a 6'10" wing of Michael Porter Jr., and he's just frying them in the first half. Like that's just common sense. Somebody's at 6'10" is probably going to score over somebody that's 6'5". So it's just like those type of matchups are like they don't have those type of matchup when Ruiz is out there. Because remember in the Warriors series, the big thing about the Warriors game was once the Warriors ran pick and roll offense, they were beating the Lakers, but they didn't have the offensive pieces to run that for a full game. Well, the Nuggets run a pick and roll offense. So it's like the Lakers had to take a game to adjust to that.
Troy saying that it's not the Hachimura that changed, it's that moving AD onto Gordon is the change here. So Andrew G says whoever wins this game will win the series. Massive game here, says Andrew G. Let's take a look at the cash flow on this one, and it's 49% of the tickets and 58% of the cash on the Lakers. From a total perspective, 39% of the tickets and 81% of the cash on the under, and yet it's climbing. The Nuggets won game 1, 132, 126. Denver now 7-0 at home in the postseason, which means they are 41-7, combining the regular season home record. Jokic triple-double, 34, 21, and 11. That's his second consecutive 30-point triple-double, third in his past 5 games. And we'll see what Hachimura can do. The Nuggets received 31 points from Jamal Murray, 15 and 10 from Michael Porter Jr., and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was incredible, I thought. 21 points. LeBron went 26, 12, and 9. Davis, 40 and 10. The Lakers shot 66.7% in the second half. You talk about the height advantage because Denver out-rebounded the Lakers 47-30. Even though they only got 11 rebounds in the second half. 36 in the first half. They out-rebounded the Lakers 36-13 in the first half. And then, as you said, adjustments were made. Lakers got more height out there. And the Lakers out-rebounded the Nuggets 17-11. Viper says Nuggets roll again. Spenny penny bombs on Jamal Murray, 7+ assists. King Art says Denver first half game, taking Denver full game today. Denver know they let them come back. Let's hear what our guy Billy Brisbane has to say. Take it away. West Finals game 2, Lakers Nuggets.
Yeah, rarely do I start betting over-unders in basketball, but I think there's a huge angle for the over-under in this game. The Lakers had to get adjusted in game 1, defend the pick and rolls with Jokic like we were talking about earlier. Replacing Rui with D'Lo in the second half was highly beneficial for them. And in games in a series where both teams shoot 40% or better from three-point, the under is 51% in the following game. And in game 2s after the game 1 over hits, the under is 41-26 in the last 5 years. So hitting around that 70% hit rate in the last 5 years. And the over was the move in game 1, but I definitely think the under is the move in game 2. And I grabbed the under 227.5 on the opener last night.
I like it. I like where you're at. When you say opener, what book opened it up that high?
FanDuel 227 around that halftime of the Heat game last night. When it comes to the spread, though, I think the spread angle would have to be towards the Lakers here, man. I feel like they definitely don't want to go down 0-2. If they lose and go down 0-2, I feel like that says Denver's probably going to win this series. They would only have to win 2 out of their next 5 games. And I think the Lakers underestimated the height advantage that Denver had. I mean, like we were talking about earlier, they're the 4th tallest team in the NBA. And if they play Rui and go big, LeBron can switch towards MPJ. And MPJ is not going to be scoring, doing that shit that he was doing on Austin Reeves on LeBron James. It'll be hard for the Nuggets to repeat the same shooting numbers that they did in game 1. So I think the Lakers will find a way to cover the spread. And if they cover the spread, they probably win outright. Dog stat cover tend to win outright in the playoffs, 23-8 straight up covering at 75% this year. So if you have a hard lean towards the Lakers, I would probably go quarter unit on the Lakers plus 5.5, and then a quarter unit on the money line. But I'm more confident on the under. For player props, the only player prop that really – this is a horrible player prop day, I will say that. But the only player prop that stuck out for me was D'Angelo Russell under 4.5 assists at -132. Russell's defense finally got signaled out in game 1, resulted in him getting benched in the last 13 minutes of game 1. Russell's one of those people whose regular season numbers haven't really translated so far to the postseason. He hasn't gone over his assist prop in a very long time.
Very, very interesting action here for you. I'd like to go over it in a second. By the way, Tone Miggins, levels play today's Lakers money line plus 176. He's on D'Lo points over 13.5 plus 102. And he's on the Lakers first quarter money line, full game money line at plus 3 90. Billy Friedrich is on Bruce Brown, points, rebounds, assists over 17.5 minus 112. Carlos Garcia saying he stays in California. What books can I use out here? The tricky part is getting your money in. In California, it can be tricky. But if you bet online.
Bet online, Bovada, Fliff. Those are the 3 books I would use when I'm at state.
US too, but bet online can be a little tricky getting your money in.
Why do you say that? Even with a Visa card?
It's just when you're in California.
Okay.
There's a struggle to get it in.
I know you got family out there, so you definitely know what's up out there.
I can't put Visa on Bet Online here and from Toronto.
Canada's Canada. You guys have very weird restriction rules. Like I have to use Skrill.
We can email money transfer that Bet Online, get in like that easily.
That's
so
weird.
There's ways of getting around it. Pimp Slap play days, Lakers plus 5.5 going for 6 in a row. But those are the books here. DC Capper says, Jimmy, the whole world's on the Lakers. Denver over 227. The winning play is the under 227. I agree with the under. I'm amazed. So did you tweet out that 227.5, Brizzy?
Nah, I haven't tweeted anything out. I just bet it. Can you find me at 227 actually?
No. There are no there's no spots like that. There's just
can I bet the alt 227 then at minus 120?
Yes. And I think I can even get you a little better than that. Let me just go back to basketball here. Penny, the under full game under 2.
A lot of people are talking about Anthony Davis in the chat. Yo, that is the most quiet 40-plus points I've ever seen in a basketball game in my life. I like the box square. I was like, wait, Anthony Davis had 42 points in that game? What the fuck?
I can get you a couple things here. I can get you the under 227 at minus 110. I can get you your 227.5 at minus 117.
Yeah, we'll take the minus 117. That's not bad at all.
Under 227.5 at minus 117. I agree with you, DC, about the under. I just think that at this point, it looks to me like the total's going up again. So
I think that's just a recency bias. People see Jokic, LeBron, and AD, and they think it's a 2K basketball game.
Oh, I agree. I agree with the bias as well. I just I'd like to get in with you guys on the under, but I don't think I need to do that now. Also, another thing I've been doing is I've been doubling up when I bet unders in the playoffs, first half and full game.
I wouldn't want to bet a first half under in Denver.
I hear you. That
would be like a live bet under.
It's been working really nice, the first half and the full game for me. I'm 8-2 over my last 10. It's been a tough year, but the unders, when the unders are in a situation like this, I think that the under is the spot here. We see it opening up at some spots at 227.5, as Bridgie said, bet down to 225.5. And then now it's gonna the public's gonna bet it back up there.
Yeah, I think that's what they wanted. Thursday action and stuff like that. And then did you also put D'Angelo Russell under 4.5 assists, minus 132 at FanDuel? That was also an official play.
I did not. Thank you. D'Angelo Russell under 4.5 assists at minus 132.
Yeah, FanDuel.
Carlos Garcia, that shouldn't be a problem. The only issue is that you often have to call your credit card and say, look, it's cool.
Yeah, what do they call it? Like a international transfer or something like that?
Yeah, so it's tricky. I would go on right now because like right now with the way it's changed up here, I can't get anything on Bet Online or Bet US. Now, Carlos, again, if you don't have a Bet Online account and you open up a new Bet Online account, if you type in Pub Sports, then they'll match you up to 100%, up to 1,000. But you have to go through our link on our website.
You can also use the MyBookie promo code at Pub Sports. I know MyBookie's the easy one. They allow you to use PayPal, Cash App, cryptocurrency. Like they'll allow you to use anything.
MyBookie I might have an easier time. So I would focus on those 4 books: Bovada, Bet Online, MyBookie, and Bet US is what I would do. Okay, so we have the under 227.5 for Brizzy at minus 117. Lakers plus 5.5 on the line shop for that. Brizzy, we don't have you for tomorrow. LJ will be with us tomorrow. we'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you have a plan for Game 2 Heat Celtics, or is that something that you'll be constructing this evening?
My first thoughts is like Game 1 went exactly how I thought it was going to go, because that trend of teams coming out of a Game 7 series and then going back at home is a very bad number. Like the team that had rest highly gets the advantage. But two things I like for tomorrow was Jaylen Brown's over 5.5 rebounds. I feel like he's got to be a little bit more aggressive on the rebounds for Boston. And I want to find some way to get on Boston, either Boston team total over Boston. I hate betting double digits, but I think Boston wins tomorrow. I just don't know how to bet it because it's a -8.5, -9, probably go up to 9.5. I think Miami did what they accomplished, kind of similar to the Sixer series.
Yeah, the one thing about Miami, though, is I've thought that a couple times during the playoffs. Like we thought that in Game 5 in Milwaukee. They've done their job. They seem to. I just think that when your best player is your hardest worker, then you better work to his level. I mean, but
Friday to Sunday, though, is a quick swing. Like you might as just throw away the Friday game, chill out Friday night, and go back to Miami and get ready for Sunday and hope Boston party Saturday night.
I feel you, but I get some MJ vibes off of Butler. He makes eye contact with people, and they're like, "You better."
Well, I'd be making it. If I was as good as Jimmy Butler in basketball, and I could say "fuck you" to Dave Portnoy sitting sidelines, I would say "fuck you" so many times it would be ridiculous.
He's playing so well because everything's in the flow of the game. He's just playing spectacularly well. It's been really, really, really fun to watch.
And it's crazy. People in the chat were saying the Heat played better without Tyler Hero. That's cap. That is so cap. Jimmy Butler's just turning it up a notch a little bit. If they had Tyler Hero, they'd probably be blowing these teams out.
And then we should answer one question here from the Fixes In is who's going to stop who for the under. This is why I agree with Billy's breakdown for the under is the Lakers are going to change their personnel to have more height on the court, which will in turn slow them down. And two, their efficiency was through the roof. We already heard Brizzy's numbers with both teams shooting over 40% from three. Their efficiency was just too.
Denver didn't miss a shot in the first quarter.
It was just too impressive. So I think those two things can help us get to the under, and I think that this total will get bet up by the public. So it's not as much.
Jokic is a great player, but you're telling me Jokic has 20 and 12 at the end of the first quarter? God bless. Like.
J Dub says Lakers have to change the pace if they have any chance of winning. So I disagree with that. I think they need to get taller on the floor, like Billy said. So they need to make adjustments that will slow down the scoring, but in turn slow down Denver from scoring.
I agree because, D'Angelo Russell and Dennis Schroeder, while they're both two offensive threats, both of those two players don't play defense at all whatsoever. So, Denver's got a 6'5", 6'7" guard right there at the two guard position. One of the two have to guard them, and there's just pick and roll situations and stuff like that. It just makes it easier. I feel like you put Rui Hachimura and him and Vanderbilt switching in and out. Maybe not see a lot of Vanderbilt. Be interested to see if they play Lonnie Walker because Lonnie Walker's more of a long wing.
And Lonnie Walker just jacks up those threes. So Strus is on fire right now. That there's some concern with
Reeves.
Well, Reeves is just that's who he is.
Oh, I didn't know if we were talking about the Miami game or the Laker game.
Oh, you're right. I was thinking Strus with the fucking Heat. But even look at the Heat total from that game. You have the Heat as the only team in the playoffs that are playing at a faster pace in the playoffs than they did in the regular season. The only team, and you can't trust everything that you remember from that squad. We had cappers in chat saying, could be a rock fight, could be under 200. That game was soaring over immediately from start to finish. Here, I think, now we could be wrong, but I think, and especially from Brizzy's breakdown, is that there's just all of the stats kind of lead you to an under after efficiency at the level that we saw in game one. So so we'll see. I mean,
I've been looking at the under in both of these games. Going back to that stat, after a game one over, game two unders are 41 and 26, hitting at 70% in the last 5 years. Like, that's good enough for me to bet.
I love it. I love the breakdown. I'm going to wait on the under. I'm going to wait on the under, and I still like doubling up on the first half full game. It's in the playoffs. It's been working very well for me. I hope that some of you guys are watching what Dennis Garcia is doing. He on Twitter is at Garcia Gaming. He's been betting the under on every single player prop across the board throughout the whole NBA playoffs, and he's up over 100 units. This is the first angle that I've heard that I can't poke holes in. Every single time all my life, someone says, "Oh, I've got this angle," and then you can end up poking holes in it. It just doesn't work forever. But this angle has been absolutely spectacular from Dennis Garcia, and this is the third year he's done it. It makes you want to get some real investors.
I got the under tonight. D'Angelo Russell. What's this prop?
Yeah, Cheshire. It is extremely interesting, and he tweets it out every day. Garcia is about the greater good. He wants us all to cash. He's not pocketing this for himself. So, great stuff, Brizzy. Tell us a little bit about the podcast that you are about to record right now.
Yeah, we're about to record the MMA podcast, me, Mills, and Big Show, going over this week's upcoming slate for UFC Vegas 75. And then next week, we'll probably go over some PFL, but always special guests. We had Slaughter on there, I believe, last week. We had Preston on there the week before. So the voices of Pub Sports Radio, maybe behind the scenes, catch us over on all podcast platforms like Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and I think that's it.
I love it, Brizzy. Love capping with you here on Thursdays. Thank you for making time for us. Follow Brizzy on Twitter and Instagram at GettingBills _ at Twitter, and there's his Instagram up there on our screen. Brizzy, thank you for your time. Any last words for the cappers supporting the show?
Go Lake Show tonight.
There it is. Brizzy in the house. My goodness. We haven't had a show under 2 hours in many, many moons, which means it's time for me to go back downstairs and cap horses. And I can't wait to do that. BJ Lakers best bet +5.5. That's still available right now, BJ. So that's a line available right now. Ray Charles says the Joker double -140. Or sorry, triple double -140. I couldn't even say triple double -140. It's such a crazy line. All right, let's review all action. I'm on the first period under 1.5 at -105, and the full game under 6 at -120 in Florida, Carolina. In baseball, Jose and I are on the under 8.5 in LA, Baltimore. This is a process. We need to improve and improve and improve because defeating the juice is very difficult. The percentages you have to hit to do that. And I see us doing that as a group in baseball. Now it's almost the time where our full energy gets to be on baseball. And I'm really excited to see our success. And one of the things that we do on the show is, we have transparency and honesty and all single unit bets. And so we'll be putting it out there. And, watching a friend like Jose struggle off the top of the year was tough to watch, and watch him put his record out every single day, regardless of, the flack he's going to take, and then now start climbing out of it is exciting. And I want him to continue climbing out of it. And then we can watch as a group what changes he's making in his capping to bring him success. We're both on the under 8.5, and we got off of that first 5 under, but we're both on the full game under 8.5. Rays Mets, I'm off. My next spot is White Sox first 5. No, that's not my next spot. I have the first 5 under 4.5 in Washington, Miami. Jose is the first 5 under 4. And BJ also has the best bet on the White Sox -146. I love it, Cuban Connect. It's fun for your city, your great city, the great city of Miami, man. Fun watching Miami and Florida, and we want hockey to blossom in Florida. And I've seen it. I was down in Tampa last year when the Lightning were playing the Leafs, and everybody's wearing a Lightning jersey, and it was great to watch. So Jose's on the first 5 under 4 plus 109 there. I'm on the White Sox first 5. Jose's on the White Sox first 5 minus a half and the -1 plus 105. Danny Lopez, thank you, my friend. Grit and grind. So great to all you guys running with us. Ron Crawford, spreadsheet play today is Toronto -1 plus 109. And then Jose has a triple up on the Cards. First 5 plus 144. Full game plus 138. And Cards first 5 team total over 1/2 minus 140. Brizzy is tripled up in this basketball game tonight. Under 227.5. Lakers plus 5.5 and Russell under 4.5. Baltimore 2-on with no outs, says Jay Peasy. It's okay. That's okay. But it was very interesting to see the first 5 be bet to the over or be moving to the over, and then the full game move to the under, and we'll see how that plays out in the end. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to be on the under in this basketball game. I want to see how high it climbs up. I expect it'll keep climbing and climbing and climbing. Cuban Connect, Jay Peasy, D. Jenkins, Scotty Pimpin, Danny Lopez, Grit and Grind, BJ, Cuban Connect, Andrew G, Harold Williams, DC Capper, JW, Spenny Penny Bombs, The Fix is in, Ray Charles, Cheshire Cat. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for your support here. Paul Trippy, Nasty Nate, Troy Torrance, Joe Yurkovich, same game parlay, Heat plus 15.5, and Celtics money line. That's a very interesting way of handling it. Bankroll Spence, Dav Fenn, J Dub, Johnny K, Robert Franklin, Mikey M, Saturated, Rick J, James H, Carlos Garcia. Thank you guys. Thank you all for your support. Nunya, Tori Coker, Big O. Let's get that money, man. I'm really excited to get a little bit of time to work on horses. And we have a huge, huge show tomorrow. Big, big show. Dabby Cab for MLB. I'll be capping the NHL game. And then we have LJ from H-Town in NBA. Let's get after it. Thank you guys for your support. We have a huge weekend ahead. We have a big playback tonight with Jose Bouquett. On Friday, we have our NBA Live betting show. My man, Razor Sharp Picks, is going to be hanging out with his family and studying because we have all day Saturday with the horses. So Dutch Boy Fresh will be running the show with Dabby Cab tomorrow night on YouTube, the live bet stream. And Razor's going to be loving his family because on Saturday, it's just us and the horses, baby. Let's get that cash. Thank you guys for your support. Big O says, any quick look on the Black Eyed Susan? I've just finished capping Saturday's card. So I'm going to move on to the late races on Friday because I do want to have a double. But I'm just not quite there yet, Big O, unfortunately. Scarmanati, thank you guys. Let's get the money. Let's get that cash. Can't do this without you. Happy 16th birthday, Caden. Leche! Hey, Los Bookmakers.